Dani Williamson over here. I dropped my pen. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just picked it up with my toes. It's Sunday night service. Woo, it's Sunday. So that means it's Sunday night service. And holy cow, what a weekend it has been. You guys have made my book, Wild and Well, #1 on Amazon. New releases for thyroid conditions. It's not even a technical thyroid book, but number one above Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the root cause. #1 above Dr. Amy Myers. #1 above all kinds of thyroid books. Oh my goodness. #5, #9, #7, and other things. And then number 2,000 and something overall books. There's about 40 million books on Amazon, and we're at about 2,400, and it's not even out yet. I am so happy. You guys are rock stars. Thank you for pre-ordering. Thank you so much. Tonight, we are talking depression. Dr. Terry Walls was supposed to be on here tonight, but she had to reschedule to a later date. And so we're just going to do a very quick little talk on depression, and I'll touch a little bit on anxiety. As soon as you guys get logged on, tell me where you're from, okay? And where you're listening from, not where you're from, where you're listening from, and any questions that you may have. Now, on Instagram, the entire last week, I did an entire series, 6 days on depression and anxiety. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you need to get over there, Dani Williamson Wellness. If you don't have an Instagram, then you need to get one just to follow, because that's where all of this information is right here. I mean, look at this. There's so much information. It's not even funny that's over there. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And tell me where you're from. Tell me what's going on. It has been the craziest weekend for me. I had no idea the book was coming out. I have a publisher, but we did not know that it was coming out for pre-sale. Amazon sets it up whenever they want, and we had turned it in 2 days prior. And Friday night, some of you've seen the story. I was just scrolling around. No, I was on my computer. I wasn't even on my phone. And I typed in wild merchandise on Amazon because I wanted things like shirts that said, whatever. I was just looking to see. My book popped up. What? I was like, what? And we were like I can't remember. I took a screenshot of it because we were like I don't know, 10 million or 3 million or something in books, right? Nobody even bought it that I was aware of. And I've just watched it climb, guys. And that's all because of you all. So anyway, the book is for every single one of you. Every single one of you who have been told that you're depressed, that you're anxious, that, you just need to eat better and exercise more, and all the ones who weren't listened to by their healthcare providers. This book is for every single one of you. Okay. Hello from Australia. Oh, and thank you for ordering it, guys. If you guys haven't ordered it and you can order it, please order it before tomorrow morning, because I want my publisher to go, what? Are you crazy? This woman has moved up and is #1 and doesn't have a publicist. I don't have an agent. I don't have anybody. I want them to really know that they took a chance on an unknown author, and by Guinea, we're going to take it to New York Times bestseller because of every single one of you. So the book is for all of you who've been told lies your entire life about who you are, your condition. But we're talking about, okay, Chris, you order it. I'll put the link up here, but I've got it all over Facebook. It's on every post on Facebook known to man. It's on my Instagram, everywhere, and also in the bio. Do you know that people who have anxiety oftentimes suffer from depression, or vice versa? They're diagnosed with mixed anxiety or depressive disorder. They have both of them. Nearly 1/2 of those diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with anxiety. Do you know that more than 30 million Americans are on an antidepressant? 30 million Americans. In the 25 years since Prozac has been on the market, been approved by the FDA. We have multiple more SSRIs and SNRIs that have now been released as well that are supposed to help with depression. Yet we are more depressed and more medicated than we've ever been. So where's that disconnect happening? This is clearly not a Prozac deficiency, right? This is not a Celexa, Effexor, Wellbutrin, Xanax, Buspar, Klonopin, Valium deficiency. Where is the disconnect happening? We are prescribing more antidepressants and more anti-anxieties than we ever have, yet we have more depressed people than we ever have. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. 1 in 4 women are on, that are childbearing age, are on psychotropic medications. Now that may mean anxiety medicine, that may mean a depression medicine, it may mean both. 11% of adult Americans are on medications for anxiety or depression. And you know, here's the sad thing about that statistic. Those are the women that we know about. There's many we don't know about who are prescribed, who may not been part of whatever, you know, many that we don't know about. It's sad because so many people suffer in silence and they think that this is who they are. They think that they're broken. They think that they'll never get better. And I know that many of you are watching tonight, and Benton, Kentucky, woo! It's where I graduated high school from, Marshall County. Many of you watching tonight maybe think that there's no hope, but there is hope. But hope is not a strategy. I'm just here to tell you right now. I had hope when I was depressed. I had hope when I was suicidal, actually. Laying in the bed on 34th Street in Paducah that morning, I knew the day I was going to kill myself. I knew what I was doing. I was going to drive off the foot of Broadway into that raging water of the Ohio River at the foot of Broadway, and there wasn't anything anyone can do. But yet apparently there was still hope in me, because that day I made a decision not to when I looked at my kids, and I knew there was no way I was going to leave those with my husband at the time, my ex-husband now. There must have been hope. And somehow I pulled up from the depths of just depression, and I made it and I survived. And many people don't. Many people don't at all. So here's what you all need to do. You know, pay attention to the little symptoms that pop up, right? Don't ignore the emotional signs that something's not right. The heart palpitations, or the slight feeling down, or even joint pain or fibromyalgia-like symptoms. Pay attention to those. I read once, water doesn't suddenly start boiling, right? It doesn't. It takes a long time to simmer before it boils. Pay attention to the simmering symptoms. If you're there right now and you know, you may have more down days than you do good days. You may have some joint pain. You may have headaches. You may have a little bit of panic attack or anxiety. You may have chronic diarrhea or constipation. Pay attention to that. That is your body popping up red flags left and right. And it's like whack-a-mole trying to bop those things down. We got to pay attention to them, and we've got to take care of them as soon as they pop up. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little statistic. Where is it? Dr. Kelly Brogan. Kelly Brogan wrote the book, A Mind of Your Own. Gosh, if somebody was on here, could type in, and things that I say would be fantastic, because when I'm saying stuff, because I don't have time to do it tonight. Dr. Kelly Brogan wrote a book, A Mind of Your Own. If any of you all are on antidepressants or want to come off of them, or anti-anxieties, she's a psychiatrist. It's the best book I've ever read, A Mind of Your Own. If somebody could type it in the comments, order it. Listen to this. When she was writing this book, she dug deep in the literature, just like we did on our book, and she found that not one single study has ever proven that depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. Out of tens of thousands of studies, not one study has ever proven that depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. Depression is a symptom of a red flag, she says, that something is off balance, or ill in the body that needs to be remedied. My all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite doctors, probably my all-time favorite, is Dr. Taroni Lodog. Taroni Lodog is a medical doctor. She's also a midwife and she's an herbalist. She says, depression is a symptom of us not facing the darkness in our life with openness. Depression is a symptom of us not facing the darkness in our life with openness. She says we have zero tolerance for suffering in our culture. We are in a culture of fast and easy cures. We have a premium on coasting and just surviving, and all focus is on the future. We're not living in the present. We keep saying, one day I will, one day when I write my book, one day when I get my kids raised, one day when I do this, one day when I get the promotion. We're not living in the present. We are overdiagnosed and overtreated as women and men, she says. Disease is a symptom. Our depression is a symptom. It's not a disease. We choose how to manage it. You can choose to take the invitation and see what your body is telling you, she says, or you can choose to manage it with prescriptions. And there's no judgment at all, or you can choose to do both. That's what I did. I was medicated twice on antidepressants, 2 different times. And I chose, well, I didn't know any different the first time. And then I haven't been depressed. I was once since I've gone through working with functional medicine, and I used St. John's wort instead of Prozac. And the studies show that St. John's wort, 900 milligrams a day, works equally as well, if not better than Prozac for depression. So she too had scoured and found that not one single study said that serotonin a lack of serotonin is the reason for, or a chemical imbalance is the reason for depression. So that being said, there are millions of men and women out there with depression and anxiety disorders. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's exactly right. We don't focus on the present. We focus on the future. And so here's some things. If you're struggling with depression and anxiety right now, maybe your labs are off. Maybe your thyroid is off, right? Maybe you have an autoimmune thyroid condition. Maybe you have Hashimoto's. Maybe you have hypothyroid. Maybe you're actually hyper. Hyperthyroid makes you like this, anxious, weight loss, diarrhea, heart palpitations, higher blood pressure. You need a full thyroid panel. And I've taught about this for years. This is all over our Instagram. It's all on my Facebook, all the labs that you need checked. You want your thyroid checked. You want to know where your B12 level is. B12 is very, very important for depression. A lot of people with anxiety or depression have a low B12 level. Well, if you can't find out what your B12 level is, then start some methyl B12. Okay, methyl B12, a methylated version. Try it and see. Start with a low dose. Many times, people just have a B12 deficiency. Do you know that something like, 15 million people have a B12 deficiency in this country? Well, that's crazy. A little bit of B12 may just be what you need. Have your thyroid checked. Have your B12 checked. Look at a fasting glucose. Maybe you're hypoglycemic, right? Look at an insulin level, right? Look at a vitamin D3 level. Low vitamin D is shown to increase your depression and your anxiety. Well, what is a perfect D3 level? 60 to 80 is going to be perfect. Normal is 30 to 100 by most labs. Well, 30 is terrible. So vitamin D3, have a B12 level checked if you can. Have a magnesium red blood cell checked. Magnesium red blood cell. Okay. Do you know that up to 80% of all depressed patients have a magnesium deficiency? Magnesium is one of the greatest minerals out there, and we are so deficient in it. There's no magnesium left in our soil. We turn all the soil over so fast. We don't have all the great minerals and things that we need in it, like selenium and zinc and magnesium and iodine and all of that. Magnesium, 300 milligrams at night of a glycinate, magnesium glycinate, just like Dr. Farah Sultan mentioned last week. It is fantastic. Maybe you need 500 milligrams. Maybe you need it mixed out a little bit during the day. Magnesium helps you sleep. Magnesium helps you poop. Magnesium helps you relax your muscles, calms down the heart rate, helps with high blood pressure, helps with twitches, helps beautifully with migraine headaches. TMJ, like clenched jaws. It just helps you relax. So we'll check a thyroid, not just a TSH. That's useless. If you have a provider who's only checking a TSH, you need a brand new provider, or you need to take the list in. What's the list? TSH, free T3, free T4, thyroid antibodies at the minimum. Now, I would love to know your reverse T3 and all of that, but if we can't get that done, don't worry about that. TSH, free T3, free T4, thyroid antibodies. Okay. Free T3 is a big one for energy. And if your T3, that's the gas pedal of the body. I've got multiple thyroid videos on our YouTube channel, so you can watch all about that. Have your thyroid checked. Maybe you want to check MTHFR. That's the mother effer gene. MTHFR stands for methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase enzyme. Reductase is an enzyme. MTHFR is how your body methylates on its own, right? Do you have a genetic kink in there, which about 60 to 70% of the population do? Most people never know their MTHFR mutation. I assume that everyone has an MTHFR mutation. Most people who have a lot of who have, maybe a double MTHFR, they may have anxiety. Some don't. I have an MTHFR mutation. I never knew I had it. I don't think it affected me at all, but you would need methylfolate and methyl B12. Now, you can react to those and get a little jittery. So everyone is different. We're just going off of the labs you would check. A full thyroid panel, MTHFR if possible, right? B12, D3, magnesium red blood cell, and a ferritin. Ferritin are your iron stores. Maybe they're just checking a CBC on you and it looks at hemoglobin and hematocrit. If you're very low normal on hemoglobin and hematocrit, you have got to have a ferritin level checked. Ferritin is what carries the oxygen in your blood, right? When ferritin's low, fatigue, depression, weight gain, foggy headedness, insomnia, dry hair, dry skin, let me think, shortness of breath, like air hunger, like you can't get enough air. Just when you don't have iron, you don't have any energy. So you're going to check that. Somebody type this in the chat for me. Lori, if you can, I would appreciate it. A full thyroid panel, TSH, free T3, free T4. If you can't get it done, it's no big deal. Magnesium RBC, ferritin, D3, B12. Those are the basics to have checked. Yes, I would love to have a fasting glucose and an insulin and a homocysteine, but most of your docs will actually check that for you, right? A thyroid panel, ferritin, magnesium red blood cell. What did I say? B12, D3. Those are things that we need to have checked. They may be contributing to your depression or your fatigue or your anxiety or your weight gain. You guys are great. Thank you, Dorinda. Appreciate you there, sis. Absolutely. Those are things that could. Now, what else could be contributing to it? Well, maybe you're not sleeping at night. Your body heals when you sleep. That's when you heal. If you have this phone, look, there y'all are right there. If you have this phone beside your head at night, you're not going to rest. This is constantly putting off EMFs, right? If you're going to bed late and you're watching your TV or your iPad or whatever before you go to sleep, you're disrupted, right? So you've got to sleep well. You have to make your bedroom a sanctuary. But here's another thing. Listen to me on this, people. Listen hard on this. I won't be able to find it in here at all. If you're not sleeping all night long, don't stress yourself out. Don't stress yourself out over this, okay? If you're waking up at night, I'm not going to find it in the book. I should have. If you're waking up in the night, don't worry about it, okay? Here's what I want you to know. I want you to know that what matters, I'm trying to find it because this is in the book and y'all are going to get to hear it for the first time. What matters is how you feel in the morning. So if you're up a couple of hours in the night or something like that, and you go back to sleep and you get up in the morning and you feel well, then don't stress about it. Before the Industrial Revolution, we had something called, in America, first and second sleep. First and second sleep, meaning people went to bed. They usually went down with the sun. They were getting ready to go to bed here soon. Down with the sun, up with the sun. And they slept about 4 hours, maybe 5. And then they got up for a couple of hours in the night and they read the Bible, they sewed, they had sex. That's a great thing to have in the night. If you got somebody in the bed with you to have sex, it'd be very nice. They cooked or whatever they did for a few hours. And then they went back to sleep and they had their second sleep. And after the Industrial Revolution, we screwed all that up. In the medical literature, all of those references to first and second sleep started dropping off after the Industrial Revolution when we started making things, industrializing things and we started making things and factories were coming into play and all of that. I'm going to read you a little bit out of my book. Since y'all are ordering it, you might as well hear a little bit. So here we go. There are also numerous accounts from medical text and court records across cultures that reference a first and second sleep. I've never read out of my book to anybody. Historian Roger Eckert's book, A Day's Close, Night in Times Past, describes how households once retired a couple of hours after dusk. They woke a few hours later for 1 or 2 hours, and then they had a second sleep until dawn. He also found that references to the first and second sleep started to disappear during the late 17th century and were almost entirely gone by the 19th century. What's most fascinating about this to me is that the increased appearance of insomnia in the literature in the late 19th century just so happens to coincide with the periods where accounts of split sleep disappeared. Guys, if you missed that, go back and listen to that. It's as though society started placing unnecessary pressure on individuals to achieve continuous consolidated sleep every night, which added to the anxiety about sleep and perpetuated the problem. I am guilty, and this is what it says in my book, I am guilty of telling my patients in the past that the only way to sleep is to get a solid 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep at night. When I learned this about first and second sleep, I began to realize that how you sleep may not be nearly as important as how you feel when you wake up. In other words, do you wake up refreshed, rested, and ready for the day? So it goes on and on and on. And this is just a little piece of the book here. I'm sorry if I or any other provider has ever made you feel less than anything if you wake up in the night. Don't worry about it. Dr. Low Dog was the first person that I ever heard talk about that. She said, don't worry about it. Have a cup of tea in the night. Read your Bible, read your journal, meditate, whatever. Don't worry about it if you don't sleep all night long. And then we need to figure out why, and things like that. But we've put pressure on society to believe that. All right, you got to eat well. You got to eat an anti-inflammatory diet, right? You have to move your body. I spent all day outside today. I went walking with my friend, Dr. Amanda Ryden, this morning. I spent literally 8 hours outside today, barefoot, just having a great time. You got to move your body. You have to sleep well. You have to poop well, right? And we have to get you pooping. These are all things that contribute to anxiety and depression. We need to decrease stress. What does that look like for you? Decreasing stress. Meditation, right? Getting a new job, getting out of a bad relationship, maybe even getting out of a bad marriage. I'm not, advocating divorce over here, but I also think that you don't need to be in something that's abusive ever. I got out. It was hard. What does that look like for you? Decreasing stress. What can you automate, eliminate, and delegate? Okay. Movement and mitochondria. Amen to that. And Amanda's on here tonight. You want to get that mitochondria going, right? Mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, and they're going to help make ATP, which is going to help give you energy, and movement equals mitochondrial growth. And then you want community. And we're living in a time to where community is difficult right now. Dr. Ryden and I were just talking about that today. I don't know what that looks like for you, but you need to cultivate community. Maybe you need to pick this phone up and you need to call a friend, not text a friend, or FaceTime and say, hey, let's go. Let's get outside and let's exercise. Maybe you're the one who has to get the community cookout together. Maybe you're the one who has to get your friends together for coffee or tea or dinner or whatever. Let's cultivate community. People heal when they have community. When you are laughing with your friends, when you are watching a movie and laughing with your friends, when you're whatever, having a great meal, having wine, whatever with your friends, that's when your body starts to heal. Depression, anxiety, stress blow your immune system up. They literally cause your white blood cells to burst and they lower your immune system. When you are depressed, you're more likely to be sick. When you are anxious, you're more likely to be sick. When you are stressed, you're more likely to be sick because your white blood cells go crazy and it lowers your immune system. So we have ways, right? You don't have to do anything complicated. If you can't get your labs checked, go start some magnesium. Unless you have a horrible kidney disease, you could start some low dose magnesium glycinate chelate. Try some magnesium, try some B12, try a little bit of D3. Do you know, here was a university in 2010 from Rush University that showed more than 3,500, it was a study of more than 3,500 adults and higher intakes of B5, B9, and B12 were associated with decreased likelihood of depression. So basically, if you took a really great B complex, Bs 1 through 12, Bs are one of the biggest things for anxiety and depression. When you're under stress and your adrenal glands, which sit right here on top of your kidneys, when you're under stress, you go through so much cortisol. I mean, B vitamins, it's not even funny. Take a great B complex. B5, B5, B9, B12, higher intakes of those three were associated with a decreased likelihood of depression for up to 12 years past when they started taking it. What? An increased addition of 10 milligrams of B6 and 10 micrograms of B12 also those patients were a 2% decreased risk of depression per year. What? B vitamins, very easy B. Now, there's lots of Bs in meat. There's lots of Bs in some nuts, but also a good B complex. It's water soluble. You're not going to overdose on a B vitamin, okay? Of course, magnesium. Zinc. Zinc is an essential mineral that helps control our response to stress. Zinc has over 300 enzyme reactions in our body. What? Do you know that most zinc, Dr. Ryden, who's on here, knows this, most zinc is found in the brain. And when you are deficient in zinc, your brain doesn't work right. We're talking depression, anxiety, dementia, things like that. Okay. L-theanine. L-theanine's in green tea. That's fantastic. You can drink 3 or 4 cups of green tea a day. L-theanine, a couple hundred milligrams a day, helps with alpha wave production in the brain, which can reduce anxiety and gives you a relaxed and focused mind. These are all things that you really don't have to have a doctor say, unless you're on a whole lot of medications, then you need to ask your provider. But L-theanine really doesn't interact with a lot. Magnesium's not going to interact with a lot. B vitamins are not going to interact with a lot. Iron, you would want to know your iron levels really before you started iron. And technically you're supposed to know your vitamin D3 levels. I don't check anybody's D3 level who's normal, that's not taking D3. And some people who are taking D3, their D3 levels are terrible. So that means you're not using a very good D3. Some other things that we can do for depression and anxiety, which is I'm so excited about, is neurofeedback. Oh my goodness, neurofeedback. Okay. KK Ray, who's a therapist in town and also like a neurofeedback guru, she owns Tennessee Neurofeedback. She's on here next week. Who's had neurofeedback done? Neurofeedback is where they hook the electrodes up to your brain. I'm in the middle of doing 28 sessions right now because post-COVID, I struggled with a whole lot of headaches, and it has really taken my headaches away. And as we're also working on some ADD, many of you may know I have a little ADD, also some urinary incontinence, because when you get 55 years old, anyway, there's multiple things that neurofeedback does, QEEG, neurofeedback brainwaves. Look it up, Tennessee Neurofeedback. She's our guest on here next week. Traumatic brain injuries like concussions, PTSD, anxiety, depression. I mean, yes, neurofeedback is fantastic. And KK's brilliant. So you can look up Tennessee Neurofeedback. I think it's tnneurofeedback.com. Fantastic. Also, get a light box. So this is not a light box, by the way, but well, crap, I can't show you. But this is not a light box. But a light box is a light like this, except it looks more like one of those old makeup mirrors that my mom used to use to put her makeup on. You can use a light box. If you have seasonal affective disorder, you can use a light box and sit in front of that multiple times a day, whatever the directions say. Dr. Low Dog uses her light box, and she drinks her tea every day. L-theanine tea in front of her light box, does her journal and things like that. I'm a big fan of a light box, and it really helps people, especially if you live in a part of the country that have horribly dreary winters and rains a lot and cloudy a lot. A light box is great. Neurofeedback is great. Meditation is great. There are so many free apps on your phone. It's not even funny. If anybody wants to list this out, Headspace. Actually, they may cost a little bit. Headspace used to be free. It's not now. Insight Timer, Calm. I mean, those are the three that I know off the top of my head. In Headspace, Insight Timer, and Calm are three incredible apps that work beautifully for helping you calm down, help you breathe, decrease anxiety, help you go to sleep at night. I have patients who just use them to help them go to sleep at night. They put them across the room more than 6 feet away from them, turn it on, and then they have nighttime bedtime stories. I think, what's his name? Matthew McConaughey reads to you at night. What? I'd love for him reading to me at night. There's a bunch of sexy people that help you read, or that read to you at night and tell you a nighttime story. So anyway, okay. Change the diet, move the body, decrease the stress, right? Cultivate community, get yourself pooping, work on your sleep hygiene. Don't stress yourself out if in fact you don't sleep all night. Another thing about sleep hygiene, Epsom salt baths. I take them about 3 or 4 nights a week, at least 4 cups of Epsom salt in the bath. The greatest way to absorb magnesium, which is Epsom salt, is transdermally through the skin. Now, I can't stand the magnesium spray. I don't like it at all, but I will soak in Epsom salt and sleep like a log all night long, most of the night. But here's the thing that I want you to know. You're not broken. You were never born broken. We can turn any of this around. Whether you're 14 or 74 or 84, we can start to right this ship up, right? It's a little bit harder the older you are, but we can right this ship, and we can course correct. You don't have to continue going on being depressed. You don't have to continue going on with anxiety or joint pain or PTSD, any of that. Nothing. You can stop it tonight, but you have to have a plan, right? And you also have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself that God doesn't make garbage. You go back to this childhood. Now, maybe some of you had a horrible childhood. I didn't have a horrible childhood, but I did not have a great childhood. I can tell you that. I was reading in the book, I'd forgotten, I put it in there, that I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and I was in the pharmacy. My mom was doing something, and the pharmacist looked at me over that counter, and he said, "Smile." He said, "It can't be that bad." And I was thinking to myself, yeah, dude, you don't know. You have no idea. My mom was on her 3rd husband at that time, and he was emotionally and verbally abusive then, and then he turned physical my senior year in high school. You can change your situation. If you can't course correct, if you can't get out of the situation that you're in, then we can make some baby steps, right? Not eating processed, packaged, bag, fake food. One baby step. Just don't bring it back in. Fruits and vegetables. I don't know if you can see back there, but tomorrow starts the 10-day detox. Okay. So I am getting everything ready for the 10-day detox. And there's sweet potatoes, apples, oranges. Well, not oranges. There's no oranges back there. There's a grapefruit, pears, carrots, Brussels sprouts. That's one ingredient food. Those are food that give you life. What's food that takes away your life? Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Burger King, Sonic, processed packaged food that's in your freezer. That's the biggest step right there. You can take all these vitamins in the world, but if you don't change the diet and heal the gut, then we're in trouble, right? It doesn't work. The supplements don't work. You can't out supplement an inflammatory diet. But if you can do one thing, go gluten-free. Start with that. Go gluten-free. Google online what's in gluten. Something I was going to tell you that I failed to tell you, L-glutamine. L-glutamine is an amino acid. And I have full hours, 2 hours on amino acids on our YouTube channel with also Trudy Scott, who wrote the book, The Anti-Anxiety Food Solution on Amino Acids. L-glutamine literally works like spackling to the gut. It spackles from the mouth to the anus, patching it up. But I also use it with anxiety patients because it helps calm down anxiety. It's a powder. You mix it up and you just drink it down in your water. It's also, L-glutamine is also in our Relax Max that Lori keeps talking about on here. Relax Max is a fantastic powder with magnesium, L-glutamine, I think tyrosine, N-acetylcysteine, and something else in it. It's fantastic. But L-glutamine is inexpensive and it works. And if you have hypoglycemic episodes and if you have carb and sugar and alcohol cravings, L-glutamine really helps with that. And that's a very inexpensive amino acid. I would highly recommend. Yes, Jody, L-glutamine, it's part of my gut healing protocol. It's fantastic. It works beautiful. So we have an entire Sunday night service on targeted amino acids, and I need you all to watch that because I can't go through that tonight. But what I want you to know, I want you to take a look and I want you to observe your body and your environment. What are you eating? What can you change? Baby steps. What can you change? How are you moving your body? My friend Derek Myers, who is a brilliant chiropractor, says when you stop moving, you stop moving. Baby steps. Move a little bit more, right? Do a plank in the kitchen right here while you're waiting for whatever, the pot to fill up with water. Just do a plank and hold it. Do something every day to move your body, right? Pay attention to how you're sleeping. Observe it. Just observe these things. Oh my gosh, do my joints hurt after I eat eggs? Do my joints hurt after I eat gluten? Then stop eating it, right? Food sensitivities happen 3 hours to 3 days later. Pay attention to how you feel. If you have bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, joint pain, headaches. Headaches are a big one. Migraines, pretty much the number one reason is going to be a food sensitivity. Sometimes hormones, sometimes barometric pressure. But when you cut out the foods that are creating the headaches, your whole world turns around. I'm going to tell you, I don't know how people live with chronic headaches. I had it for about 2 weeks with COVID, and I about lost my mind, literally. I hurt so badly. Robin, what can help you pooping? Magnesium. And also, are you dehydrated? If you're not drinking half your body weight in ounces a day in water, you're dehydrated. You're not going to poop right. If you weigh 200 pounds, you need a minimum of 100 ounces of water a day. Magnesium glycinate, probably 300 to 500 milligrams would be great. Calm also, but that's magnesium citrate. So it doesn't get in the cells as much, but it definitely will help you poop, as well as vitamin C. Do you know, again, we've got about 15.7 million Americans deficient in vitamin C. Vitamin C, we don't make it, but we store it right there in your adrenal glands. And when you're adrenally fatigued, you don't have any vitamin C, right? Vitamin C helps you poop. It also helps give you energy. So it will really help you. And it's one of the greatest antioxidants out there. cheap and great. And you don't need a fancy vitamin C, just simply ascorbic acid. Okay. Couple more things. Obsessive compulsive disorder. We have about 2.2 million adults who struggle with that. Post-traumatic stress, 7.7 million. Unbelievable. And people with post-traumatic stress disorder, of course, have a higher rate of suicide, which, you know, is near and dear to my heart, suicide prevention. PTSD, neurofeedback, great magnesium, great supplements, changing the diet, all of those things, getting outside. When you get your feet to the earth and your face to the sun, I tell people this all the time. As a rule, your dogs and cats are not depressed. As a rule, your children are not depressed. The barefoot, they roll around on the grass. Dogs don't wear shoes. Cats don't wear shoes. And they literally put their body on the grass like I did today. They're not depressed. Most kids are not. They know how to feel the energy from the earth. That earth is full of healing energy. The studies, and we have tons and tons of studies on forest bathing. The people who are in the forest, who are breathing deep breaths, are the people who struggle less with anxiety and depression. Okay? So if you heal the brain, you begin to heal the psych issues. If you heal the gut, you begin to heal the psych issues. Dr. Ryden and I were talking about this today. It's a 100% bidirectional connection here. 80 or so % of your serotonin in your entire human body is right here in the gut. It's not in the brain. So when the gut is inflamed, so are the symptoms of anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, ADD, ADHD, OCD, trichotillomania. I mean, the list goes on and on. When you heal this gut, you heal the brain. It's a fact. And yes, nature is a healer for sure. But I just want you guys to know that, yes. So you can watch all of this tomorrow on the YouTube channel. And I have 100 videos on there of Sunday night services. I have so much free education for all of you that are new out here. I put out a ton of free content between the newsletter that goes out every week. All right. And you can go right here to, let me see here, right here to sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter, there we go, that goes out every single week. YouTube every week. Facebook every week, and Instagram. Instagram has everything 6 days a week. 6 days a week. Yes, it's available to rewatch on YouTube. Absolutely. Yes. What do you think about magnesium glycinate calm powder that mixes with? Absolutely. It's fantastic. I thought it was magnesium citrate. I didn't know it was magnesium glycinate. Maybe it is. Maybe I was wrong. I think calm works great. Helps you poop and helps you sleep. And yes, you can turn this cruise ship around. All right. Yes, you can. Hey guys, I put essential oils in my Epson salt bath as well. You can put lavender. You can put, if you need to, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever Epsom salt, whatever essential oils help you sleep. But what I want you to know is that we are not broken. Most of you are women on here. And, you know, as women, I think oftentimes we get beat down. Do we allow it? I don't know. I did for a lot of years. I was married to a man who didn't physically beat me down emotionally and verbally and mentally for 11 years. His father is the exact same way to his mother and everyone around. And I was married, and I remember a good friend of mine was a therapist, and she looked at me one day and she said, "You do know you're in an abusive marriage, right? You're a battered woman." I said, "What?" Because they were close. She and her girlfriend were actually really close to us. And she said, "Dani, you are beat down every single day." Now, can you imagine me beat down? And I said, "What? He's never laid a hand on me." And he never did. He never did, to his credit. But he was an abuser. He was an abuser. And it took me 11 years to get out of that marriage. I wanted to get out at 9. Well, I want to get out before 9, but I started talking about it about 9 years. And my mom, who was an expert at marriages and divorce, she said, no, wait till 10 years, Dani, because then you get half of his Social Security. What? I mean, he never made a lot of money. Anyway, half of his Social Security. What? So anyway, it finally took me 11 years to get out, but it did get out. But what I'm saying is, as women, many times we don't think we deserve better than what we have. We don't think we deserve a better job. We don't think we deserve a better partner, a better girlfriend, a better wife, a better husband, a better boyfriend. We don't think we deserve better. And that's bullshit. I'm telling you right now, you deserve to be 100%. 150% you deserve. You deserve to walk on water every single day. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a whole lot of work. It takes changing the diet and all the things that we've talked about. And I could sell you $1,000 worth of supplements, but it doesn't help at all if you don't change here and if you don't change what's at the end of your fork. Dr. Mark Hyman says what's at the end of your fork is way more powerful than what's at the bottom of your pill bottle. I just want you to know that. Cindy, could you explain what the difference is between chelated magnesium and magnesium glycinate? Actually, most magnesium glycinate is always chelated. So it's just the process that it's done in the form of it. So what we sell in the office is magnesium, glycinate, chelate, malate. Ours has malate in it. I sell about three different forms of magnesium. That one right there, though, if you did a chelated glycinate, magnesium glycinate chelate, you're golden for most people. That's what I take at night, is magnesium glycinate. And then I alternate it with magnesium threonate for the brain, because of my mom's dementia and Alzheimer's. Threonate crosses the blood-brain barrier and helps your brain. The studies show it helps decrease memory loss. And so I usually take threonate 3 or 4 nights a week and glycinate chelate 2 or 3 nights a week. Well, Carrie, if you're in something like that right now, I'm here to tell you, you can make a change, and you can make a change. It's not easy, but you can. And reach out. I am telling you right now, suicide, people who die by suicide don't realize that their situation is temporary. I believe that. Now, I don't know that, but I believe that has to be the case. I know that morning that I was going to take my life in Paducah. I don't know. I just didn't see any better way, and I just didn't realize that this would get better. And look how it's gotten better. But it was a hard road. But I really think that people who die by suicide, my grandfather died by suicide. I found his obituary the other day. I never knew him. My mom attempted multiple times, and I do believe that they don't know that there's a better, that it's a season, and every season changes. And reach out if you're struggling, if you're depressed, if you're struggling, if you are suicidal. In fact, I'm going to put the phone number up right here, 741-741. That is the suicide crisis prevention line. And you can text home, help, talk, anything to that line, and it's open 24/7. Somebody answers that. There it is right there. And I can't remember the call line, but you could text right there. Guys, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for making this book. Number one, if you can order it tonight, I sure would love it, because that means tomorrow morning when Morgan James Publishing gets into the publishing house tomorrow, or whatever, they log their computers on, they see that their unknown author who has no history in the publishing field has taken a book to number 1 in new releases on thyroid conditions. Order it tonight. I'll put the link up here. I take magnesium 3 and 8, magnesium 3 and 8 for helping with memory. Okay. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, and the research shows that it decreases memory loss by up to 9 years in patients with early to moderate dementia, not severe dementia. So actually, I have 2 or 3 Sunday night services on our YouTube channel. Guys, if you'll just go over to the YouTube channel and follow it and subscribe to it, you could work out, do your laundry, clean, whatever. You could learn while you burn. That's what my patient tells me. Just put your headphones in and listen to me talking about, whatever. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Listen, the 10-day detox starts tomorrow. Woo! You can, if you want to detox, you can detox anytime you want. There's a whole event on Facebook right here on Dani Williamson Wellness. I do it twice a year. It's a fantastic detox. We're not going to talk about it because I talk about it all the time. Oh my gosh, so much food. I'm cooking a leg of lamb. I have a leg of lamb out there I'm going to cook for the day 1 tomorrow. We are tripling the size of our supplement store at the office, and I'm so grateful you all have made this available. And so I am taking that support that you've given me, and I'm putting it back into a supplement store 3 times the size. We've busted walls out. We are going to be carrying whatever it is that you want that I can carry right in there. And also, guess what we're going to do with Dr. Amanda Ryden? That amino acid, Brenda, is L-glutamine. L-glutamine. Yeah, if somebody could put the link up here, I'll do it whenever we finish this for the YouTube channel. It's a great channel. It is. And, I'm a big believer that when you've been given much, and I have been given much, I have been blessed. No, I'm not a millionaire. I don't mean that. I've just been given so much. I have clawed my way up from food stamps and a medical card, and I am self-sufficient. I have been given much. And I think when you've been given much, you must give back much. That's just what it is. Shame on you if you don't, is all I can say. And so I try to give back as much as possible. Free education. Hey, Dr. Ryden, Dr. Charles Bell, and Dani Williamson in Franklin, Tennessee, we are all in the same complex. We came up today with an idea to do a clinic crawl. See how this is crawling across the bottom instead of a pub crawl? Now hit your heart buttons and hit your like buttons if you think this is a great idea. We're going to do a clinic crawl at 330 Mallory Station Road here in Franklin. We're going to start at mine because mine's the first one. That's the reason. We're going to start there. Well, we can start anywhere. It doesn't matter. And we're going to do, instead of tequila shots like you do at pub crawls, we're going to do protein shot. Yes, Dr. Ryden. I don't know if you can see it or not, but everybody's hitting their heart buttons up here for the clinic crawl. We're going to do protein shots. We're going to do green drink shots. We're going to have a ball. We'll do giveaways. And you can see my clinic. You can see Dr. Ryden's clinic. You can see Dr. Bell's clinic. There are 3 functional medicine clinics in my complex now. And I think that it's a fabulous idea. And I think that I'm ready for a party. So we're going to set things up outside. We'll set things up inside. We'll do it when it gets a little bit warmer, and probably in May is what I'm thinking. My office manager is going to have a heart attack because this book's coming out. And I just plan things. I'm the visionary. And then I just throw it out like diarrhea of the mouth. Like, oh my gosh, let's do a pub crawl. Let's do a clinic crawl. Let's do a book release. Let's do a 5-year anniversary party. Holy cow. It makes her head spin. I'm the visionary. I'm not the planner. So I'm not all about details unless it's with patients. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're going to do it. And we're also doing a hula hoop class. Dr. Ryden doesn't know about that, but we're doing a hula hoop class at the office. I've just got to book the hula hoop teacher, and it'll probably, that won't be free because we want to pay her for her time. It'll probably be like $10 a person for about an hour and a half of hula hooping. All right. So anyway, okay, guys, I've got to go get ready for the detox, and I have to get prepped for tomorrow. I've been so busy texting people, telling them to buy the book and all of that. next week or starting tomorrow on Instagram. So please go follow me on Instagram. Dani Williamson Wellness starts autoimmune. I'm doing a whole series on autoimmune disease. Tomorrow I start with my story of autoimmune disease, and then we get into all the not all the different autoimmune diseases, but and then we're going to down the road all next week on autoimmune disease. Okay, so that's going to be a really great series. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you. I was going to do this for 30 minutes, but I'm so excited about this. Please, I'm going to put the link up. Please pre-order the book. I got a text message, and I'm going to tell you all this. I got a text message. Well, in fact, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to read it to you right now. I got a text message from Michael Hyatt this afternoon, and Michael and I have been friends for years. Michael's one of the main reasons that I wrote a book. He told me 5 years ago, you need to write a book. He has written multiple New York Times bestsellers. So I texted it to him and the picture, and that it went #1 on that. And then it was 2,000 and something and overall books. He said to me, Dani, anytime your book breaks into the top 5,000, you're in an elite category. We should have a conversation soon, and I will give you a whole strategy for making your book a bestseller. Here are some blog posts that I did. What? Who knew? Who knew? Guys, you all are responsible for this. Not me. I mean, good gosh. You guys have bought the book, sight unseen, no reviews, and you all have bought the book, and you have made it number 2,456 on all of Amazon. On all of Amazon. Now I want to be #1, but 2,456, #7 in whole food diets, #9 in immune systems, #5 in thyroid books, but #1 in new releases on thyroid. So there you go. I appreciate you more than I'll ever know. Get outside. Have a great night. It is spring, and everything is better in the spring. People feel better in the spring. Their depression is less in the spring. If you are inside your house, get yourself out. Open the windows, cross ventilation, right? Not just one window, cross ventilation. The air inside your home is 10 times more toxic, more polluted than it is outside. All right? I love you. No, Lori, you are amazing. And I know you ordered the book yesterday because you texted me and told me, I mean. So you guys are fantastic. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Go share it with your tribe. Share it with your people. If something happens and it just goes #1, I will forever be grateful. No matter what, I'm going to be grateful anyway. All right, I'm grateful no matter what. I'm real grateful. I'm starting this detox tomorrow because I didn't drink any tonight, but I got this tiny little bit of wine left. You can't have wine on the detox. So I'm going to drink that tiny little bit up. I'm going to say, thank you, Jesus, for wine, water, #1 sellers, and, for you guys, because I am so grateful. Grateful people are less depressed. It's a fact. Look it up.